Today's podcast is brought to you by Audible. Get a free audiobook download and 30-day free trial at www.audibletrial.com/thenerdcore. Over 180,000 titles to choose from for your iPhone, Android, Kindle, or MP3 player.
Hello, nerds. You're listening to an episode on the Nerdcore podcast feed. If you're feeling generous, please consider pledging to a tier on our Patreon at patreon.com/thenerdcore. We have tiers as low as $1 per month. Thanks so much, and enjoy the episode.
Hey everyone, before we can get into today's episode, I need to talk to you all about Anchor. Anchor is the easiest way to make a podcast and is the platform I've been using for over 2 years. Anchor is easy because it's free, includes creation tools on your tablet or phone from the get-go, rewards creators with sponsorships with no minimum listenership, and best of all, they distribute your podcast to places like Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, and many more. So if you want to make a podcast, you should download the Anchor app or visit anchor.fm. Now let's get into today's episode. Welcome back. You're listening to the Nerdcore Podcast, the podcast that reviews the movies and talks that nerd shit. This is episode 315, and it is your third Kurosawa Film Month Part 2 review here at the Nerdcore as we look at Ron 1985. As always, is the Nerd Chicano here to host the show alongside my wonderful co-host, Young Yoda.
Hi, everybody.
How you doing, Brad?
Doing pretty well. I haven't been renounced by my father or anything, so it's all good. Exiled.
Oh, no. I mean, where is he going to exile you to? You already basically live in the middle of nowhere, Brad.
That's true. It's very true. And I own the house, so.
What is he going to do? Exile you to Mexico?
Hey.
Yep.
I mean, that doesn't sound too bad.
It's not like it hasn't happened at one point, right? Yep. Dude, yeah. So we're gonna talk about Ron today. We hope everybody's having a wonderful day today. What's it called? Had a lot of cool stuff did today, man. What's it called? How'd you spend your MLK day, Brad?
I did a little bit of housework and I took a nap. That's kind of what I did.
Yeah. Okay. I watched an incredible film in 35 millimeter at the Museum of Fine Arts here in Houston, Texas. Watched Amarcord from Federico Fellini, and I watched it there, and it was pretty cool, man. That was really cool.
So 35 millimeter is the film that can just like light right on fire, right?
Back then it could, not anymore, because film isn't flammable anymore.
Okay.
Yeah. Back then it used to be flammable, not anymore. Yeah.
Well, that's good they figured that one out.
Well, yeah, of course. You don't want. It reminds you of the scene in Cinema Paradiso when the cinema lights on fire because.
Well, I'm thinking Inglourious Bastards as well.
Yep. Tell us your favorite movie that includes the cinema burning down because the 35 millimeter film because the film stock got overheated and started burning.
I can't believe there's too many films like that.
Yeah, it's like I don't know how it took people long enough to realize like. Oh crap, this is a flammable object. Why don't we fix this and make it not a tragedy awaiting to happen?
Yeah, let's keep it away from the heat source.
Yeah. I love how it took a couple of years for them to realize that it wasn't a good idea to have a flammable object inside a projector that heats up really fucking fast because you have it turned on for basically more than 2 hours.
Hey, dude. Back then, they were renegades. They were like, movies are greater than life.
Yep. So, what's it called? Today we're gonna talk about Ram. Brad is still continuing on with Kurosawa Film Month, and next week will be the last week of Kurosawa Film Month Part 2, and we will talk to you about what February will be. What theme will be in February, but for now. I believe we also, have a movie that we're going to be doing with Tony and Bryce. So that's going to be fun in the next coming weeks. Mm-hmm. So, Brad, I have my sound bites back and good because I have my spoiler noise back because this movie was made after 1969. So that means we actually need to put a spoiler warning on this movie.
Indeed, 1985.
1985, I arrived. Dude, that J. Cole song is great, bro. Yeah. So, Brad, you weren't alive for 85, right?
No. I came into this world a year after.
86.
Barely made it in 86.
Yep. All right, man. So, for those of you who have never watched Ran, even though I highly recommend you keep listening to our conversation, because, like, honestly, this is about to get really, really, really appreciative of the man that is Akira Kurosawa. But if you don't want to get the movie spoiled, whatever. I mean, if you read King Lear, you've already spoiled this movie for yourself. Come on, guys.
Yeah, it hits. I mean, he keeps it pretty on par with King Lear.
Yep. With that being said, this is your spoiler warning, your one and only one. So after you hear our spoiler noise, that means that the spoiler warning is in effect in a 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
I missed that sound.
You missed it, yeah. Yep.
I didn't miss that sound.
Yeah. What about
Oh yeah.
I mean, I'm okay with that sound.
All right, man. Let's go ahead and do this, Brad. Can you introduce us to Ron 1985?
Indeed I can, Raul. Coming from our number one source on the internet, Wikipedia. Ron, which is translated into chaos or turmoil, is a 1985 epic period drama film directed, edited, and co-written by Akira Kurosawa. The plot derives from William Shakespeare's King Lear and includes segments based on legends of the daimyo Mori Motonari. The film stars Tatsuo Nakadai as Hidetoro Ichimonji, an aging Sengoku period warlord who decides to abdicate as ruler in favor of his 3 sons. The film is a Japanese-French venture produced by Herald Ace, Nippon Herald Films, and Greenwich Film Productions. Production planning went through a long period of preparation. Kurosawa conceived the idea of Ran in the mid-1970s when he read about Motonari, who was famous for having 3 highly loyal sons. Kurosawa devised a plot in which the sons became antagonists of their father. Although the film became heavily inspired by Shakespeare's play King Lear, Kurosawa began using it only after he had started pre-planning for Ran. Following this pre-planning, Kurosawa filmed Dersu Uzula in 1975, followed by Kagemusha in the early 1980s before securing financial backing to film Ran. Ran was Kurosawa's second encounter with Shakespeare during his filmmaking career. In 1957, Kurosawa directed Throne of Blood, based on Shakespeare's Macbeth. Despite the changes in setting and language, both Ran and Throne of Blood are considered to be amongst the best film adaptations of King Lear and Macbeth. As Kurosawa's last epic, Ran has often been cited as among his finest achievements and is widely regarded as one of the greatest films ever made. With a budget of $11 million, it was the most expensive Japanese film produced up to that time. Ran was previewed on May 31st, 1985 at the Tokyo International Film Festival before its release on June 1st, 1985 in Japan. The film was hailed for its powerful images and use of color. Costume designer Imiwata won an Academy Award for Best Costume Design for her work on Ran. The distinctive Gustav Mahler-inspired film score was composed by Toru Takemitsu.
$11 million?
In 1985.
Yeah, I'm absolutely. What's it called?
You're floored, aren't you?
Yeah.
You're wondering how the hell he pulled this off.
Yeah, which also kind of explains the. Look, this is my only gripe with this movie, dude. That fox head was terrible. That was a terrible fox head.
I see it as a fox head statue. I didn't really take it as being a fox head.
Yeah, that was like definitely bad. That was like, wait, what is that supposed to be? But holy shit, for $11 million, you can't even make a freaking Marvel movie with $11 million these days.
Dude, you couldn't make like some TV pilots for $11 million these days.
And Kurosawa is flexing out here making this with $11 million?
Well, as I mentioned to you before we talked, he was in his 80s and mostly blind.
Yeah. So it also, what's it called? It also really like floors me that he had to make two epics before he could make this epic, and not only he had to win the fucking Academy Award with Dursa Ursula to secure financial backing for possibly one of his biggest movies ever.
For some reason, the I guess his shine back in, the 50s and 60s, when I guess many were appreciative of him, was lost by the 70s and 80s, which is just horrible because this man never stopped working. It's just nobody gave him a chance. And Hollywood kind of stepped in with Francis Ford Coppola and George Lucas funding Kagemusha, because let's face it, George Lucas kind of should have helped fund Kurosawa, considering he um, took a few concepts for Star Wars.
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah, like always, like I say, what's it called? A fucking Spielberg. What's it called? What's it called? Lucas, Coppola. All of them very, very, very appreciative of Kurosawa, and basically funded dreams as well altogether to make sure that they had the chance for this movie to come out, for that movie to come out. I mean, look, man, the legacy of Akira Kurosawa is 100% there. I mean, and it's funny because I didn't even ask for our initial thoughts, but like, we do not have the Lord of the Rings trilogy. We do not have the Marvel Avengers movies. We don't have any of these epic movies we talk now without having the epics of Akira Kurosawa.
Agree.
Yeah.
And you mentioned some great movies with some amazing scenes that have many people fighting on screen, and I think they all fail in comparison to this film.
Yeah, because usually, like, and I'll give it up to the only movies that I think could do it really, really well was the Lord of the Rings, because what's it called? It's friggin' Lord of the Rings, But like here, it never felt too, what's it called, contrived. It never felt like there was too many people on screen. Every battle scene, the battle scene was just filmed so perfectly, and there's also, it's not just even the battle scenes that are incredible; it's the dialogue that he writes in this film. Like,
which makes me wonder who the cinematographer was.
He's the guy who's worked with him for basically.
You had three. You had Takao Saito, Masaharu Ueda, and Asakazu Nakai.
Yeah, dude, what's it called? The dialogue in this is incredible. I mean, my favorite scene from this movie I think it's one of the most powerful scenes, when the fool thinks that. By the way, is this the first time that what's it called, that in a Japanese film there's an androgynous person acting in the film?
It might have been, because when he first came on screen, I'm like, is that a female?
Yeah.
And then I got into it more, and he's like, I found you as a boy, and I'm like, not a female. So might be the first. I'm not going to say it's the first, because this was 85.
Yeah.
So I'm sure if we go back and we research other Japanese directors, we're going to find some more examples.
Yeah. But there's that scene in the, what's it called, when they're alone, and he's really convinced that the masters died, and he's gonna run for it, and he hears the master call out, and he stops for a moment, and he really thinks about it. Do I leave and desert him and get the life that I've always wanted, that I've never had, or do I stay and do the thing that I know to do, the thing that I've been brought up to do, and the only thing I've done for the past years of my life? And he goes back to him, and the crying that he has after, when he's laying down, it's heartbreaking. It's a powerful scene.
I think this movie is one of the saddest I have seen from Kurosawa. It even ends in just quite a horrible fashion. Basically saying, I think Kurosawa might have been putting his emotions. I can guarantee he put his emotions in this film, because he basically said at the end of that film that even the gods had deserted them.
Yeah. In a way, telling us that, we as humans are so fucked up. Like we We tear down and we burn the castles of the women that will marry our children, and then we expect them to just stay gentle and not rebel against us. And we have brother killing brother, and it's just showing the absolute torment of humanity.
And I man, this movie's
fucking incredible.
This movie never slows down.
No,
and
no.
If you look at other epics, Seven Samurai, that was quite a lengthy one, and at times it did feel that it slowed down. I think we can say Throne of Blood and this one, they never slowed down. Those two epics of his, they were basically pitch on perfect.
And it surprises me because of its length. It's 2 hours and 42 minutes.
And I never noticed it. I actually, and I hate to admit this, but I was up away from home and I watched it on my phone because I downloaded it. Mm-hmm. And I swear to God, I did not look away from that fucking phone for 2 hours and 42 minutes. I didn't realize it until it was over.
Yep. I really, really need to buy this one on Blu-ray. Seriously. It's incredible. I know you've already bought it on digital, but like I didn't buy it on digital. I need this on Blu-ray, man. There's no way that I don't own this. It's Kurosawa at his best when we don't even know it's his best yet. I'd hate to be the person who gets introduced to Kurosawa with this movie, because every other movie will probably not live up to them the way that this movie will live up to them.
It's true. This is quite the epic. I went into this going, it's Kurosawa, because you know how I am. I'm always geared towards, with Kurosawa, he is the master of black and white movies. That's how I've always thought of it. He knows how to use natural lighting. He knows how to do that without color. So when I was going into this, I'm going, I had low expectations, even though it was Kurosawa. And I'm like, how good can he be with color? And it just blew my mind. This whole story, it's perfect. This whole story is perfect. Cinematography, perfect. The music, oh my God, just added to it. Yeah. Especially the one scene where Kurosawa takes out all the background noise of the fighting going on. It just has the music.
Yeah. I got freaking chills up my spine, bro.
And you just have the emperor or the great lord just sitting there waiting to die, and you just have arrows and fire and you're just waiting for this guy to die, because we're coming off of watching Throne of Blood. You're like, one's got to hit him. I mean, fuck, they hit Mifune with like 20,000 of them. Come on now. Yep. And he misses them all the time. And basically when he comes out of that burning castle, his son and all the rest and his son's men who are trying to kill him, they all think they've seen a ghost, basically.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, towards the end, he does look like a fucking ghost.
I think he's basically towards the end. I think he holds on hope when his youngest son finally finds him. Mm-hmm. But after his youngest son is just killed, that's it. Him and his son die at the same time because he has no hope left. I want to bring this up, though, because I think this owes Kurosawa a lot of respect. Mm-hmm. This is one of the movies that we've seen of his where he doesn't have his two most well-known actors he's worked with in this film, being Toshiro Mifune as the first one and Takashi Shimura as the second. Yeah,
and he somehow gets possibly some of the greatest performances in his repertoire from these actors, especially the actresses.
The actresses, my God, they put on a performance.
Yeah,
with Sue and I just call her crazy bitch princess.
I think I'm gonna find the name. I don't think we want to be called.
Yeah, fine. No, we don't want to go with that, but that's what she was in the film. But just to bring up the main actor, Nakadai Tatsuya, we've actually seen him 2 times before. One, he had a small role in Seven Samurai, which was like 3 seconds. He just walked by. Mm-hmm. And then in High and Low, he was the lead detective.
Yeah. It was Lady Kaede.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
She and I think she's right up there with the best performance.
Her and
I
Lady
think
Macbeth. Yeah.
it's just quite amazing. Just this whole
Yeah.
film, and you wonder how Kurosawa does it because he just brings in all these extras, all these actors, and he makes it work on an $11 million budget.
Yo, can I read this here? Hold on. I need to read this from the Wikipedia page on the production part. Hold on. Let me zoom in here. Kurosawa often shot scenes with 3 cameras simultaneously, each using different lenses and angles. Many long shots were employed and very few close-ups. On several occasions, Kurosawa used static cameras and suddenly brought the action into frame. Rather than using the camera to track the action, he also used jump cuts to progress certain scenes, jumping the pace of the action for film effect. Akira Kurosawa, wife of 39 years, Yoko Yaguchi, died during the production of the film. He halted filming for 1 day to mourn before resuming work. His regular recording engineer, Fumio Yanoguchi, also died late in production in January 1985. That's wild, dude. Like, he loses his wife during production, and he's still able to give out an incredible product like this.
Well, and I think that's why you get quite a few of these scenes the way they are, and why this is probably one of the saddest movies I've seen from Kurosawa. Even Ikiru, I think, has a happier tone than this film.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. God, it's crazy, dude. This story is incredible, dude. This is his last epic, Brad, and it's crazy. It's crazy.
I think this is Kurosawa definitely at his best. Again, then again, I really have never seen a truly bad Kurosawa film. Believe it or not.
Yeah. I mean, from everything I've watched, yeah, I have Hidden Fortress at a 3 out of 5, but that's not bad. That's just me saying like, yeah, it was good. Everything else.
I mean,
yeah.
I mean, and like High and Low, I mean, I had a few issues with that, but still 9 out of 10 for me. I mean, wasn't bad.
Yeah, who am I to like the cinephiles said on the Samurai Samurai episode I've been listening to today? Who are we to doubt the emperor? He's the emperor, man.
Yeah.
Who am I to doubt the master himself?
I mean, exactly. Who am I to question what Kurosawa filmed and made when the man painted his own storyboards, filmed it, edited it? Jesus Christ, man! I don't.
Yeah. Like the man was. Nobody can be this. Nobody can make a movie like this these days. This is just. You just can't doubt this man. It's incredible what he can do.
Well, what director do you know nowadays who has edited all of his films? I don't think there's many.
I mean, off the top of my head, I know that Benny Safdie edits his films with Ronald Bronstein, but not like I don't know a lot of people who actually edit their films.
And I guarantee this wasn't probably digitally edited.
Yeah.
Back in '85.
Doesn't Fincher edit his films too? Hold on.
Wouldn't doubt it. But I'm thinking like Tarantino. Tarantino always had.
And Scorsese, he has Thelma Schumacher.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Schumacher. Hold on, I want to check real quick. I don't think he's editing his films. No, Fincher does not edit his movies. Yeah, I really don't have anybody at the top of my head who really edits his films.
No, it's kind of unheard of nowadays because that's a lot of work. It is a whole lot of work.
Even though it is a very interesting thing when your director is also your editor, but it's which is interesting when the Safdies do it because it's what's it called, Benny. So Josh and Benny directed. Benny then goes in with Ronald Bronstein to edit it, which is really interesting. And then Ronald Bronstein, of course, writes the movies with them too. So. I mean, other than them, I don't know anybody else who really edits the movies that they direct.
And maybe someone in our audience who's listening knows, and tweet us right on the Patreon. Maybe Tony knows.
Yeah, let me people who are listening, if you know any other director right now, like modern age director who also edits their film, let us know. But I don't, not even the big franchise directors who I think they edit their films too. But this is it's crazy. I mean, this movie, it's perfect. It's not my favorite. It's my second favorite because I still love Throne of Blood. I'm just way more knowledgeable when it comes to Macbeth than I am with King Lear. So I just was blown more away by Macbeth. So this is like the first time I've ever really seen a King Lear adaptation. So that's why I have to put this one on the bottom, but it's still perfect to me. It's perfect.
I kind of give it a tie, but the main reason being is Ron does everything as epic as Throne of Blood, but it doesn't have Mifune, which is crazy to me because we know the dream team is Kurosawa and Mifune, and it always has been, always will be. And without Mifune, he was still able to create this epic.
Yeah. Okay, look, I looked it up here. We've got some people apparently, dude. What's it called? David Lynch, the Coen brothers, Alfonso Cuarón, Takeshi Kitano, and Robert Rodriguez.
Rodriguez, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Wait a minute. Look up Spy Kids.
Hold on. Checking it out. Hold on. Spy Kids. He edited that himself. Edited by Robert Rodriguez.
Oh shit! All right.
Yeah.
Never mind then. You could go in Robert Rodriguez.
Yeah, I didn't know Alfonso direct.
How many was that? Like 5?
A couple of them, yeah.
It's not a lot.
Yeah, I didn't know that Alfonso. Wait, hold on. I really want to check this now. I thought he worked with an editor. If he edited his own films, Jesus, man. Oh, well, he has somebody helping him with the editing, but he is an editor on the films too. This is crazy, man. Yeah. I'm just telling you, man, this movie's incredible. It's the word epic, it's literally an epic. It's everything that, that you expect from a Kurosawa epic, but on another fucking playing field. Like this is
and the color didn't take away from it, which is what I was afraid of. I was like, I was going into this scared because you had seen a colored Kurosawa film though in Dreams, so you were probably like more willing to like be like, okay, I know this is gonna be okay. I was going in this like I've only seen black and white Kurosawa films, so when I went into this and I got the HD, so I did buy the HD version on Vudu, and I was very appreciative of that because it looked beautiful,
especially for that one of the last scenes where the samurai chops off the head of Lady Kaeda, and the blood splatters on the wall, and the reds are popping really, really vibrantly.
And that actor and that character, that was one of the best characters in the movie because he went to his death for his lord.
Yep.
But he also bitch slapped the one who caused it.
Pretty much, yeah.
So good. It's I mean, I hope people don't listen to this without watching the film. Even if you do listen to this, go watch it. I don't think we've ruined it to the point where you're gonna be like, oh no. Because there's so many like twists and turns in this thing. It would take a whole nother episode
we've done
on
cinema condition.
Yeah, to actually explore all of this.
For a review, we're supposed to be having a lot of spoilers, and we've done a really minimal amount of spoilers, and I think that's good because this is a review I really just want you guys to watch. If there is just a speck of interest in film in your brain, and there has to be because you're listening to this show. I don't think you're listening to this show because you don't like movies. I see you guys. You guys do listen to this show. I am telling you, go rent Ron 1985. Watch this movie, please, especially if you're looking to get into what's it called, Japanese cinema. So yeah. What else is there to do with the scoring? It's perfect. It's a 10 out of 10. If I could give it 11, 12, 13, I would.
10 out of 10. There's nothing bad about this film at all.
No, there's not. There's not. It never loses its pace. There's never a point in the film where the plot feels like it's falling flat. Never. It's full of. It's a multi-layered film. There's so many things to this movie. It's about family. It's about revenge. It's about what's it called? The humans being just shit people. There's so much to this movie, just like there's so much to the actual play of King Lear.
And I mean, if Kurosawa is going to leave off with his epics on a high note, this was a good one to leave off on.
Oh yeah, yeah. I can't wait for the eventual part 3 of Kurosawa when we actually get to Kagemusha and Derzu Ursula, because I would really like to see those films, and then hopefully you get to see Dreams, because Dreams is if that would have been the last movie that Kurosawa would have ended on, it would have been a really poetic ending to his career.
Well, and from what I've heard and read, Kagemusha is like the test run for Ron.
Mm-hmm.
So it's probably an epic, but I don't know if it's quite as what's the word? I forgot the word.
You're stuck on this one?
I'm stuck on this one. Yeah. It's quite as focused as Ron.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, man, this has been the episode, man. This movie is incredible. I mean, I'm sorry. There's just, no other way to put it. He is the greatest director to have ever lived. Nobody, well, I say it, Kubrick is the greatest American director, 100%. There's no way I can't say that. Kurosawa is the greatest director of all time. He's the greatest creative mind of all time. He's the greatest filmmaker of all time. There's just nothing else to it. Bar none. Nobody can touch what Kurosawa did. And I think a lot of people realize that. Hell, even Kubrick realized that.
I can't argue with it. He's my favorite director for a reason.
Yeah, he's in my top 10 for sure. He's up there. It's like number 6 or 5. I can't remember. But yeah, he's up there. He's up there. But I mean, objectively speaking, this is the greatest director of all time.
I mean, and it's just movie after movie after movie we watch, and we're waiting for like, where's the bad one? And it hasn't happened yet.
It just hasn't happened yet. Like, when is it coming? I'm tired of fucking waiting for a bad one.
I think we're gonna have to go back basically 1943 to his first film, and it'll probably be that one.
I don't know, but then again, his first films are the propaganda films.
Yeah. So and if you've read up on Kurosawa and you've read like review sites and that, Kurosawa was into all the propaganda. He really didn't want to do them. No. So I think if we ever watch those, we'll understand. His heart wasn't really in those.
Yeah. So like, how could you call that his work if it wasn't something he wanted to make?
Yeah, that's true.
So yeah, man, he's made 33 movies, and we by the end of this month we will only have 10 done. So it's I have 11, but it will be 10 done. But yeah, it's crazy, man. I can't wait for when we do a part 3. But next week we'll be doing Stray Dog, right?
Stray Dog, yes.
Sweet.
And then, for the mini pod, One Wonderful Sunday.
One Wonderful Sunday. I'm really excited, man. Oh wow, because this is crazy. For Dersu Ursula, he was he went under Akira Kurosawa, not Kurosawa. I wonder why that's why. He's like, I want to adapt a Russian sounding name or something.
Russia, who knows?
I don't know.
In Soviet Russia, they change your name. I don't know.
Yeah. But yeah, man, look. With that being said, it has been a wonderful time with you guys. We got to give shout outs to our producers of the show, Cassie and Sarah, our associate producers. Thank you so much for helping us out by being $10 patrons on our Patreon. You can become one too on patreon.com/thenerdcore, CORPS. Also, our executive producers are the wonderful people at the $15 and above level. We have Grayson Barker, 98 on Instagram, and Warlord One Bar on Twitter. Grayson, thank you so much for being our first executive producer, the first one. We really, 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 really appreciate what you do for us. Shane's another executive producer. Brad, can you tell where to get
Indeed. You can follow our friend Shane at twitch.tv/SWRWK or on Twitter at SWRWK Twitch.
Yep. All right. You also got to follow Brown Rice 1996. Thank you so much, Rice. And also our final one is Tony, Real Nerdy
Tony.
Dad. Real Nerdy Dad. Excuse me. Sorry about that. Yeah.
Take a shot.
Yeah. You don't want to burp into the microphone. Also follow us on Twitter and Instagram at the Nerdcore and at the Nerdcore_. But if you go to at the Nerdcore on Twitter and you click the link that they have, gladly you can visit our website where we have movie reviews and all that wonderful stuff, thenerdcore.com. Check us out on YouTube as well because we do a lot of cool stuff on there. Check us out on our Apple Podcast and leave a rate and review there. You want to leave a rate and review. Please, please, please do it because it really helps us out with people finding the show. And also, who wouldn't want to see Brad as an official critic on Rotten Tomatoes?
I mean, that sounds legit to me.
This made me fall asleep, and
this movie was poo poo.
Yep, pretty much. Yep, B-, C-. But yeah, dude, it's been a wonderful time here, dude, and I can't wait for next week. I don't know what we're doing for Saturday morning review. I guess we got to talk it through. Might just ask Claire if she wants to come on for a Thursday recording. But for right now, it has been an amazing time talking about this amazing movie. Brad, send them into the podcast void.
All right, Ro. Thank you for being host as always. Thank you to all our listeners out there, all our Patreon supporters. We appreciate each and every one of you. So thank you for listening. And to end this, I will just say next week, let's watch some more Kurosawa. Young Yoda out.